Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Somaliland says it is making progress towards finalizing agreement with Ethiopia. The head of technical committee, which was formed a few months ago by Somaliland government to look into the details and to take different viewpoints on board, has made an announcement about this MOU, which is being worked on by the two countries to sign final agreement. Secondly, a meeting between a senior US diplomat and an Oromo politician. It happened in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian. Firstly, viewers, it was the 1st of January 2024 when Ethiopia and Somaliland signed a controversial MOU. Under the MOU, Ethiopia would build a naval base in Somaliland. It would use Berbera port in Somaliland, and Somaliland would be recognized as a country by Ethiopia, and it would have shares in a profitable Ethiopian entity. The MOU has not been made public, but both parties in January showed their commitment to MOU, saying it will turn into an agreement within a month. Uh, so far, around 4 months have passed. Still no agreement. Somalia, we know from day one, has been opposing this MOU, calling it a violation of Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Somaliland formed a technical committee to make progress toward the implementation of the MOU. Technical committee is led by Awil Haji Omar. This technical committee visited the areas where Ethiopia could likely visit a naval base. Then it met with opposition parties, had long discussion with different sections of society. And yesterday, Awil Haji Umar spoke. He said that the phase of discussions by the technical committee has ended. Discussions have been completed. Now, next step is going to be taken. And that next step is about legal formalization of the agreement. Now, the agreement will be drafted in consultation with the British law firm report. It means that Somaliland is step by step making progress towards the implementation of the MOU. MOU will be drafted, and after that, maybe draft will be discussed with opposition parties, and then Ethiopia Somaliland talks will start. Will the two sides draft the agreement separately and then meet, or will they draft the agreement jointly and then finalized? I think they'll draft the agreement jointly and then they'll meet and final discussions will be held. But let's see, because whatever we're hearing from Somaliland side. Ethiopia is silent. Did Ethiopia form any technical committee? Did Ethiopia take anyone on board? Did Ethiopia talk to opposition parties? In Ethiopia, opposition has been questioning this agreement. Armed groups have been rejecting the agreement. So only PP is behind the agreement in terms of political parties. So Somaliland is definitely more committed to the MOU than Ethiopia. Why? The reason very simple, because if the MOU turns into an agreement, maybe Somaliland will be recognized as a country for which it has been struggling for decades. So it would be the most difficult part of the MOU. and we have been hearing rumors that Ethiopia might withdraw from this recognition clause. It's not clear. But Dr. Isa Kay, Somaliland's foreign minister, a few days ago said that the day this agreement is signed, Ethiopia would recognize Somaliland as a country. So, since the MOU has not been made public, we don't know what is actually written in that. Same is the case with Ethiopia, with Somalia, Turkey defense deal too, which was signed to counter this MOU. We don't know what are the contents of the deal. It has not been made public, though Somalia's parliament has approved the deal with Turkey. It means coming months are crucial. Musibe Abdi government would like this agreement to be signed before the 13th of November. In the second week of November, presidential election will be held in Somaliland. Musibe Abdi, the president, wants another term, and if the agreement is signed before November, and if Ethiopia recognized by another country before November, it would give a huge boost to Musibe Abdi's election campaign. That is why his government is intensifying efforts to reach a final agreement with Ethiopia. Ethiopia a little on slower side, it seems. Let's see. Secondly, there was a meeting between a senior US diplomat and an Oromo opposition politician. Yesterday, I reported about a meeting between Fano representatives and British diplomats in Addis Ababa. And now another meeting between Oromo politician and US diplomat. Ethiopian government, you can say, accepts such meetings. So it means that the government should never complain about foreign interference in its internal matters. Why? Because government is not preventing these meetings. And in some cases, government backs these meetings. But when foreigners are so deeply involved in the affairs of a country, definitely they'll have their say too. They'll have influence as well. The meeting was held between Mike Hammer, US Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, and OLF leader, Oromo Liberation Front Chief Dawood Ibsa. Dawood Ibsa remains under house arrest, but he is allowed to attend meetings, to go to funeral prayers, etc. At the same time, we're told that he is under house arrest. The meeting was not held at Dawood Ibsa's house. No, it was held at Ethiopian capital, Ethiopian capital, in US Embassy in Addis Ababa. I mean, Dawood Ibsa went there. Mike Hammer, we know, is in Ethiopia these days. Meetings ongoing. He'll visit Ethiopia, Djibouti, Kenya. And this time it seems that human rights issue is the main issue. Conflict in Oromia, Amhara, main issues, and demobilization of Tigray fighters. Dispute over contested areas are also key points on the agenda of Mike Hammer's visit. The two discussed. What did they discuss? Main point discussed reportedly was Batur Gassa's murder. OLF leader Batur Gassa was murdered last month. And OLF has been calling for independent, transparent inquiry, but it has been accusing the government, that government forces were involved in this incident. And it has been questioning the independence and impartiality and transparency of the investigation being conducted by government institutions. A few days ago, we heard from Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia that it was forced to suspend its inquiry into Batur Gassa's murder because its investigators are being harassed in Mekki town where Batur Gassa was murdered. But reportedly, Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia of Daniel Bakele is still conducting the inquiry. It is in touch with the investigators, with security forces, and I think the Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia will release a report after its inquiry is complete. Its inquiry is ongoing. US will definitely raise the issue of independence and impartiality of Paturgasa's murder inquiry, because when Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia complained about obstacles to its inquiry, US Embassy in Ethiopia released a statement saying that all obstacles to Baturgasa's murder inquiry must be removed by the government. Let's see. Mike Hammer is definitely going to put pressure upon Ethiopian government to ensure that Baturgasa's murder inquiry is conducted in a fair manner, though it's not likely. If government forces are involved, then those who ordered Baturgasa's murder will never be revealed. They'll always remain covered up. Government will try to cover up the investigation. It will try to make it complicated and ambiguous. Let's see. Let's watch.